we went through a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Years of working nonstop with no breaks, not knowing where anything was coming in, going out, not knowing numbers.
Nothing will come easy.
Everything happens for a reason. God is watching us. When something doesn't happen, it's for a reason.
Yeah. Don't ever see anything as a failure. We never did.
Just because we are where we are today didn't just come because of a luck. We worked our asses off. All right.
We are back with Risk and Hustle, episode
3 with Val and
Tatiana.
Guys, thank you for listening. Hopefully you're enjoying this.
Yeah. I can't believe it. We made it to episode 3.
Without killing each other.
It was close. A lot of close calls.
As you can see, our new backdrop over here.
The lighting, the glare again.
And this is why I keep telling you, we got to build a studio or else we're going to keep...
We are not building a studio unless you can get like thousands of people to really listen to this. Then there you go. Put it out there.
Remember, it's about a vision. I have this big vision.
You do.
So we'll continue with this for you and I'll do me.
All right.
Like I always do.
All right.
Anyhow.
Well, we told you the story of Boost Cycle and kind of how that started. But what we didn't get into is that while we were building Boost Cycle in the building stages of painting walls and kind of the branding part of it, we found this little juice bar downtown Bethel, and I just wanted to have juices in our fridge. We basically had 2 little fridges inside of Boost Cycle, and we were like, oh, it'd be really nice to have fresh juices here. So I reached out to a little juice bar in downtown Bethel, and I asked the owner if she was willing to bottle up some juices that we can just put at the studio. But she said she wasn't really interested in it because she wanted to sell. So she didn't know how long she would be there, much longer. And, just me out of curiosity, I'm like, well, what are you selling for? Like, how much did you want?
Well, and don't forget, this literally happened within weeks.
Yeah, we signed the lease and maybe like 2 weeks in to starting Boost Cycle.
Yeah, while we were doing all that crazy stuff in there and building and everything,
I had an idea.
It was my wife with another idea and says, hey, I think we should get a juice bar. And I'm like, a juice bar? We just opened a cycling studio.
How are we going to do this? So anyway, I had asked her how much she was selling for. It was totally out of our budget at that point too. And I didn't know how we could really make it happen.
We didn't have a budget.
We did. It was true. There was no budget. We couldn't afford it. Let's be real, right?
It was nothing.
So I just asked some questions. Like, how much are you selling a week? How much are you making a year? How much is rent? What's your staff like? What's labor costs? Like things like that.
She basically learned what she did with the first one, with the first business.
Yeah.
Within weeks, she decided to open the next business.
Yeah.
And already figured it out. It was just no way of stopping her. It was just like, we got to go. We're in this.
Yeah.
Let's figure it out. And I'm just like, what are we going to do? Like, how do we do this?
Well, I have you. You're my operations. You know how to run things somehow. You figured it out. But I just put some numbers together and it just didn't make sense when I started Googling and doing research. If there was ChatGPT back in the day, that would have really saved me a lot of time. But
thank God there wasn't.
So I really kind of looked at it and I'm like, the business really wasn't worth what she was asking. I think the value really was in the space. The rent was so cheap. I mean, it was amazing. So I wasn't super worried about the rent because we had just signed a pretty big lease. Yep. So I was kind of concerned about this one. This one was just kind of like, hey, you walk in, you pay this rent. There was no lease, no long-term commitment. So it was
a very tiny, small...
It was like a low risk. It didn't feel as stressful as Boost Cycle.
I think what happened is because you were, I'll never forget when you came, you're like, healthy is, I mean, it's been going on for forever now, but when we were in California, they were like everywhere. And then over here, there was none. People just didn't really care as much as they do now.
I just wanted a good salad somewhere and some fresh juices because I really missed that from California.
Yep.
And
there was nowhere to
No, there really wasn't anywhere for like a quick lunch. If you're on the road and you're starving, you're grabbing drive through McDonald's and You
we
know,
looked at like, we're like, how is this like
not a
missing?
thing.
How is this not a thing? And you're like, I think we got to do this. And I'm like, how are we going to do this?
We don't even know anything about the food industry.
Nothing. And then we were like, oh, how hard can it be? It's just fruits and vegetables. And then we thought of my mom.
Yeah.
Because she had the garden and she loves fruits.
She loves it. That was an easy sell. When I told your mom, I think she was just like,
I just can't believe, like,
yes.
we thought my mom barely spoke English, and we're like, hey, do you want to open a juice bar with us? And I remember at the time, like, she was working at a factory. And, she had to take a big risk of leaving her job of working for like 15 years there.
Yeah, I think it was a way bigger risk for her.
And she just literally, she's like, yes, I want to do it. Like, and I'm like, how are we going to do this? Like, she
didn't leave her job right away though.
I think within like,
in the beginning, your sister was around, so she helped us a lot too. Yeah, she worked, and then your mom decided to quit, and focus on that only. But it was a very slow start.
I mean, it was
so the other thing is we also got this business. We thought it would be turnkey, like we were going to go in and just kind of keep it going. But we realized once we were in, it needed some update, it needed refresh. Well, it really wasn't.
Once I got in, it was just like there was mirrors everywhere, and there was I think I don't know, she was doing Pilates also, and
there was like
something like that, and we're like, okay, like this is too much.
Yeah.
Why don't we just we go in that again, and we just start ripping everything out.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, we got to just do this.
I think our whole vision was to create these like two brands together that aligned, right? So we had Boost Cycle, and then we were like, well, let's just do Boostjuice. So we rebranded that juice bar to be Boostjuice and use the same colors, the awesome neon and the blue.
Oh my God, what a bad idea.
Do you remember us coming up with the name Boost though, where we were? Like when we were really trying to come up with Boost Cycle?
Yeah, it was our son's first birthday in Rhode Island.
Yep,
we were sitting at the beach and we're like, okay, what kind of name, this and that. And somehow Boost came and we're like, Boost. I don't know how we got stuck with it because I was like really worried. I was like, Boost. I'm thinking, well, that's energy. And I was like, you boost your life, you boost everything.
You boost your body, you boost your mind, your like health, everything was boost. And we were like, this is perfect. We can really create a crazy brand and it could be Boost Cycle, Boostjuice, and Boost whatever else we want to do.
Boost Fam. That's what we're known for now.
It was like hashtag Boost Fam.
So anyhow, we did sign that lease because we didn't talk about this. And when we signed that lease with them, the girl that was selling it, actually, we got lucky because she didn't take our offer at first.
Yeah.
And then within like a week, she came back and we said no. We just told her because she didn't have a business. Basically the only thing we'll take is the space
and the equipment.
Yeah. Because we didn't know anything
about the equipment. So we basically didn't buy the business totally. We bought the equipment, the space, and she did give me recipes.
Yes.
For some, and we decided to keep some of the items. We didn't really keep, I don't think we kept every single one.
She also let us keep one of her employees, which lasted maybe like a week or two, and then just quit because you couldn't handle it what you were trying to do. He was just used to sitting there doing nothing apparently at the time.
Yeah, we had I think for us was cleaning was probably first before even like making products.
We had to change.
Especially working with your mom. It was all about cleaning. She always found cleaning to do.
So we renovated, we got it started, and then we got to like, you wanted to do like you were saying, like salads, which basically was build your own salad.
So it's Boostjuice and salad bar. So we had a whole like salad bar, and you can just pick all the salad, like whatever toppings you wanted to put on it, and then dressings.
We thought it was a great idea.
Yeah.
But the community didn't. Unfortunately, they just didn't see it that like
so much waste.
It didn't make any sense. We were wasting so much.
We also, let's say, I counted on like foot traffic. We didn't really know social media much, all that.
There wasn't that much happening at that time.
Right.
Even the social media, I mean, it was big, but it wasn't like, like it is today.
Yeah.
Today is very powerful.
Right.
I think at the time, it was just like, we were counting. We had no money to really advertise. We weren't doing any marketing.
It was, I remember
we were
like
for
those
people.
Magazines, like Clipper magazines.
Oh my God, it was
and
worse.
most of those people would come in to try to like sell us ad. And I think we did a couple in the beginning, but they're really expensive.
There was nothing. So what do? We keep going. I started going to work, basically doing the same thing again. So I would go in the morning at the cycling studio, and then I would leave there. We would open at the time. We open, I think, around 9, 10 o'clock, and we would only stay till, I think, 5.
Yeah, and then you worked there.
So I worked there, and then from there I would go to the bar and do the same thing over and over with my mom. So I did that.
I think you kind of forgot, though. In the beginning, I was in the juice bar.
Yeah, you still
a lot more than you. Yeah. Because you didn't know how to make the things.
Well, it was also because my mom's English wasn't really that great at the time. Yeah. Which, by the way, my mother learned how to speak English in that juice bar.
She did, yeah.
She might have an accent a little bit today. I mean, not a little bit, she does.
But
she mastered it there with that community.
Yeah.
You know, so at her age, at 55 at that time, and like learning how to speak English in that place for 15 years, she worked at a factory, barely understood anything. Yeah. Working at the juice bar, she just picked it up.
She did. So I remember we opened Boost Cycle October of 2015.
Yep.
And then we opened the juice bar a month later. November, like the end of November.
Yep.
Which we're almost at that.
We're almost
10 years, a decade of.
So anyhow, there was a lot of like mistakes that went in there because we still like, it was coming basically like I was exhausted, and you know it just wasn't working for a while. We didn't
care.
We didn't really care too much because it wasn't
our focus. We were just making the juices. We would sell a couple at Boost Cycle, but really the focus, it was all about Boost Cycle at that point. We
had some regulars. We started doing cleanses.
Yes, the cleanses were big.
You know, which my mom loved doing and she was really great at it. Like, you know, that started working out, you know, pretty well. That's what kept us afloat.
But nothing really happened there for a good, like, over a year. You know, which was fine because we were paying the rent. It was just breaking even as long as, you know, no one was really getting paid. It was just, at least the rent was getting paid. That was it.
We didn't have any employees. It was just basically us going back and forth.
Yeah, and figuring it out.
And I never forget my mom, we had this little closet, which we still have there. And she would work alone some days, you know, there by herself, like when I would have to leave and stuff like that.
We would have like just maybe 10 customers a
day, which it was pretty sad when you think about it. So what she would do is she even put a mattress, like a little bed over there.
Yeah.
And she would sleep there. And sometimes I would go in and then she would be sleeping. So then she's like, I found these 2 little birds, like a bell, and she puts them at the door, which, by the way, if you ever go to Bethel and you see those bells,
it means a lot.
It means a lot to us. They've been there for 10 years. The reason why those bells were put in there, somebody opened the door, my mom would hear them and she would wake up. And that's how, like, you know, that's why those bells are still there till today. So go on, the story went on, and we just kept going like that. I never forget the ice cream shop opened across the street from us.
Mm-hmm.
The Freak Shake that was, right? And I would look outside with my mom and there would be lines at the door.
In like January.
Like in January, like literally, like it was insane. I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is crazy.
So you remember both of us were talking to a customer.
When she opened.
No, well but I'm saying we were talking to one of our customers at Boost Cycle, and he really believed in Boostjuice too. He really liked our products and everything.
Yep.
And we were like telling him about the ice cream place. And I remember he's the one that actually said to us, well, you have a really nice product. Why don't you just make it the Instagrammable, the same thing?
Because that's what was selling with them they started with Instagram. They basically would make these freak ice creams, which were thousands of calories, but for some reason people just didn't care. That's what they liked. And just because
went viral.
They started posting, that there was the news there at one point.
Somebody posted it and then it went viral and
it went insane. But I never forget, I would sit there and just kind of like stare through the window and be like, man, can you imagine like to have these lines like that? It would be crazy. And little did we know that was basically we were being tested. And as I always say, if you have a vision and you just imagine, basically that's what I would do is I would think of that. I would look at that all the time and be like, oh my God, like can you imagine? Like I would just envision it that's going to happen. That's going to happen.
Yeah. And then we decided to put our acai in a pineapple.
Yeah, well, what we did is we were doing some researches because after that guy told us, like, why don't you guys make these Instagrammable and try to figure out, we started doing researches of what other juice bars are doing. And then that's how we figure it out. We're like, wait, there's these ice cream.
There was a place in Miami, I think, that was doing something similar.
And pineapples. And I remember you saying, which, by the way, the build your own bowl came up from some restaurant that you figured out, which not a lot of places do this. Yeah. We created that chart through that restaurant, right? It comes like build your own bowl. And we still use it.
We went to dinner one night. It was a bar taco.
That's where we got the idea.
We went there, and I thought it was really cool that they had a little chart, and you just like pick your tacos and you add your different toppings. And that's when I said to you, I'm like, why don't we do a chart of build your own, and people can really customize their bowl?
Yeah, instead of us just giving them whatever.
I love those
fruits,
charts.
And those charts were like a hit.
Yeah.
So I guess we're going too long. Long story short, we started mastering all these acai bowls and different things, and it was still like not going too crazy. It wasn't like going to, because people just still didn't understand it. It was so new. You know, and my mom, like, I remember you talking to my mom and showing her how to do the pineapple. Yeah. I thought like it was really cool, but people still just didn't really understand it.
Again, we didn't really promote it that much. We didn't have a following until someone came in, got a pineapple bowl. Your mom killed it, right? Like, really made it really nice.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to say the name, but this person was on The Voice at the time, which she was a local artist. And apparently she came in a day before that I was there, and she asked for that bowl. I don't know how. She just went to the juice bar and she asked my mom what we have. Even our menus weren't even that great at that time. And my mom was like, oh, I'm going to make you this thing that you're going to like. She took a picture. That picture went basically viral for us. And literally, I think 2 days later, I was supposed to work there, but my old boss calls me and goes, hey, you want to come play golf? Never played golf in my life, by the way. And I was like, nothing's happening here. I think she can handle it alone, so why not? So I get up, after I finish my classes, and I'm like, I'm going to go play some golf. I tell you, like, I'm going to play golf.
Yeah.
I had the cameras there at the store because I would look at my mom, and I never forget, it was like around 1 o'clock, I think 1:30 or something like that. And I get a call and she goes, there is so many people here right now and I don't know what to do. I'm not going to be able to handle this. I need you to come. And I'm looking at her, at my phone. I'm like, stop joking around, Mom. Like, stop exaggerating. Like, we have literally like maybe 10 people a day going in there. And she's like, no, I'm not kidding. Check the cameras. There's even a school bus in the front that they must have taken from the school, and they're all here and they're asking for all these.
Like a team.
Yeah, for all these bowls and stuff. And I'm not going to be able to handle this. So I was like, oh my God. So I go in, I turned on the cameras, and I still have that video, by the way, which we should, show. And I look and I'm like, oh my God, it was full of people in there, full of people asking for acai bowls.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what is going on? So I call my mom and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm going to get there as soon as I can. I tell my friends that were playing golf.
Yeah, and then you called me and I'm just like, oh my God, your mom's such a drama queen.
I was like, babe, you got to get your ass over there. Help us out with this. We got to figure out what we're going to do. They were sitting there, people waiting. I was like, oh my God, they're going to get upset. And I was like, man, if we don't figure this out today and help all these people, we're going to get bad reviews and nobody's going to come back. And somehow we made it happen. And after that day, I was like, okay, babe, we sat down. We're like, this is it. If this happened today, I was like, this is going to continue.
So that's when we started the whole hiring. And it was just like, hey, you're great. You're hired.
We hired
when can you start?
10 girls.
Yeah, right away.
Within a week, not knowing anything what we were doing.
We didn't even have recipes written down for them.
Nothing. It was just like, take this, put it here, take that, put it here. We would, oh my God, it was such a mess. It was like, it was unbelievable, but it was so much fun and it was so exciting because when like we would wake up the next day, I knew it. Like literally after that day, I was like, I had this feeling. I was like, this is going to blow up.
Well, I remember like really early on, you have like a $200 day and be happy about it. And then I remember we hit like 500 and your mom's like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe we did 500.
I can't believe
and I was like,
like,
that's going to be our normal. Just wait and see. And then like, actually I said, we're going to get to 1,000.
You said 1,000. I was like, yeah, right. I was like, we'll never make $1,000 here.
And then like we got there and then that became a normal and a slow day is, you know, make 1,000. That's like, a really slow day.
It was just like insane. But it was such a like crazy times though, because like having to learn everything, having to basically do the recipes. Cause we knew that once that started, it kind of like didn't stop. And this was like, I think in March.
Right.
March. And we were like, oh my God, the summer is coming. So what do we do? So after all of that, everything was going like crazy. I had to stop and I had to close it for like a couple of days because I was really scared.
We needed to reorganize
everything.
Fix the layout.
So we stopped for those couple of days.
Yeah.
You were working on the recipes.
Yeah.
You were trying to like figure out everything, but you sat with my mom because my mom kind of like knew a little bit. You changed some stuff, and then me and my dad were basically renovating, building the whole place up, which actually it came out really well.
We decided to drop the salad bar since that was such a waste, and we weren't about salads. Yeah. It was all about bowls.
It's all about the bowls after that. Like it was that's what we were selling. It was like it became a hit.
It was insane. Yeah,
it was insane. Like I think. To be honest with you, we probably sold more at that, like, especially at that first year than ever, because it's just the way it was just going, especially that summer. That summer was just like,
I know it feels intense. Like that to you, but no, you know why?
Well, you know what?
Because now you make your bowls in like 3 minutes. And before, we used to blend those bowls one at a time. Yeah. Can you imagine? Oh, I got to pull our staff that actually did that back in the day. And the ones like now we batch our bowls. We still handcraft. Everything's handcrafted. We do not use sorbet, which that's a whole episode of why we don't use sorbet.
Yes.
We need to really talk about that. But our bowls we use bananas and, pineapple. It's all real fruit mixed with the acai that is not sweetened acai. So you're getting really great organic, high quality acai. Mixed with fruit. Obviously, it's not just acai because no one can eat just acai. It's
the very bitter. Is very bitter.
You would hate it.
Yeah, but it was some crazy times. There was no breaks. I remember I used to feel so bad for these employees, but they didn't care because it was such a fast pace. Like we
didn't even know what the law really was.
We knew nothing. Point, like people would come to work. I'll just put them in. They would know that they're they're going to have a crazy day. They would just work probably like 6, 7 hours, 8 hours sometimes with no breaks. And then they would leave until we figured all that out. And we would have like literally in that small location, like 5, 6 girls. Like I still have the videos in that tight space. Like move, get out of my way.
Because
put this.
Had no process.
There was no rhythm. There was no process. There was nothing.
Not organized. It's like you're on this side and here. And
we were making money, so at that point, like we really just didn't care. Like there was times where, like I cried because we didn't have things. Now I was crying because I was too overwhelmed.
Yeah,
that things were just I didn't know what to do. So it was just like I would sit in my truck going and buying supplies and things like that. And I'm like, what am I doing right now? What is going on? How do I stop this? What did I just envision in my life? Yeah. And like, it was crazy.
Because now it really was 2 businesses that needed our full attention. And you were teaching like crazy classes a week, at least 5 to 9.
It was exhausting.
Val was really always operation. So I have awesome ideas and I just delegate it.
There were so many sleepless nights, and that's what people don't understand is that, we went through a lot. Yeah. A lot. Years of working nonstop with no breaks, not knowing where anything was coming in, going out, not knowing numbers, not knowing it was intense.
Oh, what's the profit margins on things? And
we had no idea.
What does that mean?
Took in, went out. Never forget, like also like the tips when we got taxed on that we were just giving.
Oh my gosh, remember? I totally forgot about that. So
you can
just you could tip on the register, right? And then instead of us putting that into their paychecks, because people pay on their credit card, we would just pay it out cash. at the end, at the end of the night and let them take their cash tips.
Yeah.
Little did I know that year when we closed out our taxes, it was like, oh, where's all this like missing money? It just didn't add up. And we had to pay taxes on that because all the money we gave them technically was like cash that we just gave them. And we weren't writing down how much the tips were, and we didn't really keep track of it. So I mean, maybe I could have, but I felt like I couldn't go back to these employees and like, hey, you owe X amount on these tips.
We ate it.
So
we basically like, that was thousands of dollars. I remember at that time. And I was like, holy crap, what do we do? So
it was so bad.
Again, we learn everything we go, we went through. It's like, but this is what this life is about. When everybody opens businesses, everybody wants to open businesses, but if you don't learn yourself like this, then what's the point?
I mean, the process got so much smoother after with the business. At that point, things were going really well there. The cycling student had been rebranded. We were doing, good there too. But then you were just exhausted. So then that's when we decided to sell, Boost Cycle.
Yeah.
And then we had, the opportunity to open up a second location for Boostjuice, but it became Boost Bowls. That's basically where we really decided to rebrand before we opened up this second location. And that was an awesome concept. I remember again, pitching out randomly. We always drove around to try to like get a feel for places.
Yep.
And I remember going to the movie theater. They were building a whole plaza with the movie theater in Southbury. And we went there. We're like, oh, it would be really cool to have a space next to the movie theater because like getting an acai bowl before a movie, I thought that was brilliant. Yeah. I'm like, yes, that's what I want. So I called the realtor for that property and I asked, and he's like, oh, all the spaces are actually rented. And he told me that they were still building the interior. And I was just like, well, what about, can you guys build out like a concession stand for Boost bowls, and we could sell acai bowls and smoothies. And he kind of paused for a second. And I remember he was like, let me call you back. I have a meeting. I'm about to go meet with the owner.
Pitch the owner.
Let me see what I can do. So he did. He went, pitched it. He called me back and he was like, can you come and meet us?
Yeah, meet the owner. I never forget when we showed up there and we had to like literally pitch the idea.
And it was just, and I was so nervous. I'm like, I have no idea if this is actually going to work, but it was really cool.
It was tough because we didn't know, like, because you also got to understand, like, these owners of movie theaters, it was a privately owned. They make their money on concessions. They don't, so we didn't know if they were going to ask us for a percentage.
I thought
we were ready to, we would have done it.
Yeah, I think at that point I really thought it was going to be, some royalty or something with it.
Again, you meet some nice people. I don't think he kind of saw us, young couple that we already had a
established
business, and he was like, I think this is a great idea. So he just gave us, again, it was another
great rent.
Very low rent. And he built that space for us. And we were just like, oh my God, we're going to be inside a movie theater. And at that time, I swear, like, I thought like that was going to be the best, which I still think, by the way, I still think it was the best idea. I think if COVID
didn't happen
and didn't kill the movie theaters, which still to this day, a lot of them are struggling. I know they're coming back from after. I think what happened is COVID just
everything went to straight to home.
Yeah, to home. So that's what killed their business, and then it killed ours.
But I know when we started, it was great. I mean, we did really well. And the nice thing about the movie theater, I think, being in Southbury for us was, our slow season was always the winter.
Yep.
But the movie theater, it was busy.
Yeah.
So it was an awesome balance, because we had Bethel that was slower in the winter, busier in the summer. We were able to share staff. Because it wasn't super far.
Yep.
So it wasn't opening from total scratch. So
that was a lot of fun.
The movie theater location was great.
That was so much fun.
And like, seriously, when you go to a movie theater, how amazing to have a bowl or a smoothie.
Well, just seeing people, like, think about it, like, what they would come in and they'll be like, oh my God, there's an acai shop inside a movie theater.
Yeah.
And just seeing people's faces and like, you know, the way they would act. And now they have a healthier option than just popcorn and soda.
I think we need
and to be honest, we were cheaper.
I think we need to rethink that whole idea a little bit.
Man, I think it's a great idea to pitch it. And I thought after we did that one, we'll continue and somehow we'll go to like, you know, a bigger company and pitch that idea. I think that would have been amazing because again, you have fitness studios that are actually doing that on a lot of places in like the East Coast and New York. Connecticut still hasn't, like, you know, I still don't see it.
Done what? What do you mean?
Like they're putting smoothie shops and things like that inside.
They do, of course.
They do. They only do smoothies, but you know, in where'd I go? In Michigan,
yes,
they have a bowl place.
Yeah.
You know, we went to some of these places, and I think like that's what's missing here. So it could actually be a great idea for us to go and pitch this in and sell this out. But movie theaters was just one of those things that was like another vision of mine. I was like, man, can you imagine?
I thought the movie theater. I still think the movie theater is great. It's just, you know, our lease was up that year after COVID, which it just did not make sense to renew that lease. Like,
was tough
because we also at that point, Bethel, during COVID, yes, we had like a month or two that was like not even a month. I think it was just like a couple of weeks. But then once we went to online, we set up our app.
It was
crazy. I mean, our sales in 2020 were higher than 2019.
Like
we never really totally, you know, lost money. We did for a few months while people adjusted to the change.
We lost that. We lost our employees, all of us, which I don't blame. Listen, you know, if the government is going to give you $600 a week and you were working a day and two to stay, you know, at my place to stay home, I didn't blame them. So I would have done the same thing. So, but you know what? It made us stronger. Again, brought in my mom back to work, me, you, and we just kept going. We had no employees at the time. Nobody wanted to work.
I know.
And again, there would be lines with cars. We wouldn't let them in.
But then a few weeks came. We started rehiring again. Things kind of started slowly to get back to normal. We opened Newtown. So then at that point, we had 3 stores. We sold Boost Cycle. So that like relieved a lot of stress and things off of your plate.
Absolutely. Oh my God.
And then I think once we opened Southbury, you stopped bartending.
Yep.
Right? That was
I couldn't do it. I mean, thank God things were going well.
A little bit of money paying the bills. As long as we were paying our bills, paying our mortgage, able to survive, we were good.
Yep.
So then we met somebody at the movie theater that actually asked if our brand was a franchise. And we said, no, like, we just opened this. We have 2 locations. And he said like, oh, if you're ever interested in franchising, call me. And we had no idea what really that
would come there every day and get the same thing. And I would say like, who's, and it was an older guy. And then like, I never would have thought that he was the type, like the guy that like literally makes things happen, but he only works with like big companies. But he did mention it to us.
He did. So he mentioned it. We ended up calling him one day. He put me in contact with somebody. And that was kind of our first introduction to what you needed to franchise. And it's a huge investment. I mean,
huge.
The money that's required that, you know, they were requiring at the time was a lot. So I remember we entertained it a little bit, but we really just couldn't figure that out. So let things kind of go. Eventually, we decided to really look back into it because we had multiple people at this point asking us because they wanted to franchise and wanted some information on it. So we started researching. We ended up hiring a company that really came in and helped us build our manuals. It's like hundreds of pages long, but it took 9 months to a year for us to develop the paperwork that's required. We thought franchising was really simple. It was like, hey, you want to buy a Boost? Great. This is the royalties. This is the fee that we charge and that's it. But no, it's like legal documents. It's all the manuals and a lot goes into it. But we did put in the work. We franchised it, made it like legal, and
we learned a lot.
A lot of states actually. In the beginning, we launched we could sell at any states and most of the states in the U.S. And then we had a couple people interest, but we really wanted to start with somebody that knew our business and was involved. So one of our staff ended up opening up a franchise location, and that's our West Hartford location.
Yep.
And from there, we just kind of kept going. We did put a pause into franchising just because we're focused on opening up our
feel like
corporate stores.
For me, is like I would rather have corporate stores. I think franchising is
You're just very controlling.
I mean, you could say that, I guess. The thing is, like, I don't want to ruin my brand this way. It's like, for me, it's, if I'm going to do it, I want to do it slowly, do it myself. Just like, Starbucks did, Chick-fil-A did, they're still booming. If we grow too fast, just like every other company, it's easy for us to do that and just sell out. But this is our baby.
I know. And we're particular, and it's been really hard letting go of certain things. But we've met with a lot of potential franchisees. And I will say that even like some with a lot of money and that's all they had, those for us was really tough because we said no to a lot of money, that we could have taken. But I just felt like they would have never opened up the locations. These people came in, they wanted, an entire state, no restaurant experience. I get you have the money and maybe you can hire the people to do it, but I just didn't see it.
Listen, we didn't know what it was for sure. Like, was it a money launderer? Was it something that they were just trying to put money in? I mean, I guess we'll never know, but I'm glad we went with the decision that we did. And listen, we're doing fine. Everything happens for a reason. God is watching us. I've always said, when something doesn't happen, it's for a reason.
Yeah. I think I want to do a whole episode about franchising, and not that I'm an expert on it because I'm really not, I'm still figuring it out, but just the people, like franchising is a whole business. I've met consultants, sales reps, developers, attorneys. I mean, website designers specifically for franchising.
It's all a scam.
It just feels like a scam.
Everybody's just trying to
scam, but
I think it's all just I hate to say it, but I think every person that we met, every money you spend is just spending money. We spent hundreds of thousands of dollars with that stuff, and it was just everything we were getting. To me, was just like,
I will say only people in my experience that I feel like I got my money's worth was our consultants that help us put the manuals together.
Yes.
And they were great. They were very hands-on. A lot of the other people that put manuals together don't even ever come to your store. So these people took their time. They came to our store. They talked to us. They looked at our, everything behind the scenes, basically took things that we already had in place, made it better, added different things. So for that, I think it was expensive, but I think we at least got something from it. Whether I franchise or not, it was a good thing to do.
Listen, it's one of those things that it helped us a lot with the kitchen area, with recipes and things like that. They put everything in place, which we would probably would have never.
Remember your scoops, measuring and having things exact and easier.
Was it worth the amount of money we spend? Probably not, but I think it's
safe. You got to look at the value of, we probably were going through way more waste, not consistency.
So that's what I'm saying. So it pays off.
You got your money's worth that way. And that's where I see the value in it. But then when we hire sales reps and pay them money up front, and they I got a feeling they had no idea what the heck they were doing. That's when it's disappointing.
Well, that's why.
But that's the whole franchise episode.
Yes,
there's a lot of anger built up between.
I don't want to talk about that right now because I have so much to say about that. So I'm gonna just let it.
But was it last year? Yes, last year, 2024, we opened up 2 stores at the same time.
How can you forget that when we were?
Wait, was it last year?
Last year,
2024. That was really stressful. I mean, we didn't think they were happening at the same time, but there was a delay at one of the stores and the other store.
Well, we signed the first the first lease in Danbury first. And then.
No, I think Mystic was first, technically.
Oh,
but that was a full built out and the building renovation and everything that just took way longer than we had thought. So we ended up signing Danbury. We thought we would open Danbury right away, but that ended up being a big project. And then Mystic was a big project. Anyway, they were ready at the same time.
They were built the Danbury was built long before Mystic. The problem is we thought Mystic was tough because Mystic, it took 2 years for the building to be renovated.
Yeah.
Because we had to renovate the whole building.
And permits and everything.
And permits. So yes, that was bad, but at least they would go on. Danbury, I have to say, I'm not gonna like sugarcoat this. I hated working with Danbury. The city hall, and I'm gonna say it right here, I don't care.
There's different people in there.
No, you're all suck. So I'm gonna be straight honest with you. I don't think
Guys, they delayed our building and everything. They would approve something and then tell us that no, that's not right, and we had to like redo it or remake an appointment.
They had no idea what the hell they were doing. They were, I don't know if they were short staffed or whatever. One person would show up, I would get approved, then they would come in and they'll say like, no, that's not it. They made me take out the whole damn ceiling after it was finished. You know, it was like the little things. Again, scam. All they wanted is money, and I'm gonna say it. I don't care because that is exactly it is
anyway.
Because it's like
paid sooner.
They were basically, it's like they had these team people that they would tell you got to call this person and you got to, you know, and I would call that person and it would be thousands of dollars just to get a permit for something or to move
on
one damn thing.
The fire stuff,
whatever
issue. We had to hire like the fire department, I guess, to come out, and they
same thing with electricity. You know, I hired the people that they told me to hire. They came in, they did all the work, and at the end they said that the outlets are too low for the refrigerators.
But they could have said that in the original plan
when it was open, when all the
before we
closed the walls were closed, which they came for pre-approval or whatever. They made us change all that again. So again, I'm gonna say Danbury. I don't think I'll open another one in Danbury.
I don't know.
It's going to be, guys. It's going to be tough unless, I mean, let's see, because maybe with this new mayor that we have.
It's not a new mayor, but it's just new people, you know, in City Hall that I don't think he realized what was actually happening. We talked to him at the opening. And I
did tell him straight up. I said,
we would never do
horrible. And I actually
but he was nice.
Didn't want to invite him to the opening because I was really upset, and he did show up. Even little did I know.
I'm inviting him, but he was super nice and actually like knew a lot of our childhood friends.
I went through a lot of money opening that store. It took months and delays and everything. And the whole summer that I could have made a lot of money, I wasted. We lost a whole summer because
we only opened in September.
Yeah. So Danbury, F you. Sorry.
Hey. Rude.
Listen, I still have that anger towards that. So whatever.
All right. Well, you know, 2 stores, we did that. I feel like we survived. It was scary and stressful and we cried a lot. I think we cried a lot that year.
I don't think I cry anymore. I think you cry. I don't I just take the anger and I take it in other people, I guess, sometimes, which is
on me.
It's bad, but
I actually said, I think for a long time, and a lot of people probably remember this, I said, I will never open up another store. Like, I will not open up any more stores because I could not stand him. I mean, I probably
But at the end, everything
was
fine, right?
And then you're like all happy.
We had more employees than we would have thought because we were scared that we're not going to get employees.
Line out the door at both locations. We were worried about Mystic because people didn't know us there. And people started lining up hours before.
I remember the second day, the amount of money we made on that second day, I don't think we made in a week, like on that day. And we just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And every time I would look at those numbers, I'm like,
it was very unreal. That was an amazing.
It's insane. Summer Mystic, I have to say, is
the best.
Is the best.
So, everything worked out, 2 stores in a year. So I feel like we can do 2 stores again, or maybe we should do a little more. But my goal is we took a break this year a little bit. We had an amazing summer. We traveled a lot. You're nice and relaxed. You're refreshed.
I'm ready to go.
You're bored. You're very bored and antsy. So hopefully by the end of the year, I would love to sign 2 leases.
Well, I'm bored, but I'm also I'm blessed. I've worked my ass off to get to where I am today. And I have to obviously mention my amazing employees that I have today.
Such amazing
Our
staff.
Managers, thank God for them.
They're the ones that inspire us to open more because we don't want to lose them. And we know the only way to keep having them grow with us is for us to expand, and we can offer higher salaries and things like that. So they're a big part of why we want to keep growing. So hopefully brokers out there, realtors, whoever it takes, find us a spot, reach out, send me an email.
Yes, help us out, because we have enough realtors, but nobody's really doing their job. So it's like we got to drive around and find places still.
We have been, yeah.
I'm sure people are going to message us.
We still love our broker.
No, we do. He's a good
great guy. So, but anyway, anybody, if you see a location, please let us know. But the future is just to keep expanding, and hey, maybe a whole new concept. We have an idea for a food concept.
That's maybe on the next episode. But
see.
It's been a good future. It's been a good life so far, even though it was pretty tough. And,
lots of tough moments.
We are so blessed, and we're just going to keep going, and hopefully we'll continue growing with this and see what happens. I don't know what our next step is and what we're going to do. We're really just going with the flow, but I am ready to see what the next chapter of our life is going to be. What's next?
Podcast. We just added podcast.
Oh, please don't tell me this is it.
This, honestly, it's feeling like a full-time job.
You're making it a full-time job because it's driving me crazy every day.
Oh my gosh. I did not realize it, but we'll keep going. It's been fun kind of telling our story. But now we're going to get to some fun things that we can do, trying to figure out the next couple of episodes and guests that we want to bring in. So make sure you follow us on Spotify, YouTube, subscribe.
What else is there? TikTok, Instagram. Is there anything else?
There is Threads. I'm still getting all of that together. But thank you guys so much for listening, and stay tuned for the next episode.
Yes, that's the story of a little bit. Obviously, you didn't get everything, the insides, but it was more than I think you should know. But I just hope you understand that just because we are where we are today didn't just come because of a luck. We worked our asses off.
Lots of hustle.
And
risk.
And risks.
The risk
Absolutely.
and hustle is important.
So don't be afraid to hustle, and don't be afraid to risk, because without risk, and if you're not willing to do the work, then sit your ass back down.
Nothing will come easy. Nothing. Nope. It's never easy.
There's no such thing as quick. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe there is for some, but
for
not for us. But there hasn't been.
Well, at the end of the day, that's not going to last too long, as everybody knows. So work your way up, start slow, even whatever it is. If you're thinking about opening something, just do it. Even if that's not it, eventually it'll find its way. At least you learn from it and you'll do something else.
Don't ever see anything as a failure. We never did.
Never.
I think everything we've ever done has taught us something. So no regrets.
We're nowhere near where we want to be in life. So we're going to keep going. This is just the beginning.
Me and you, baby.
Love you. All right.
Guys.
See you guys. Hope you enjoy it.
Bye.